Tool lots. Reliable equipment. Fast.
Hi, my name is Kyle LaRue, and today we're going to be talking about AMC's ER400 chocolate enrober. So in basic, chocolate enrobers are used to coat foods with edible chocolate. So prior to the existence of the enrober, objects were dipped into a liquid chocolate mass and allowed to cool, and this was the application process for the chocolate. So over time, as demands grew, a solution was required to meet these increasing demands. So thus comes the chocolate enrober. So in basic, the enrober contains a conveyor belt which brings food into an automated chocolate applicator, and then as it travels down the conveyor belt line, it actually bounces to help evenly coat the chocolate, as well as a fan-assisted coating process. And the chocolate is also heated through the entire process. So this specific machine is the AMC ER400. It contains a 15-inch mesh conveyor belt. It is equipped with acrylic doors. It has 3 ceramic heaters, an automated chocolate applicator, a stationary bounce bar, a variable speed fan, and this specific machine is capable of coating objects up to 4 inches in height. It has a variable conveyor belt speed from 0 to 9 feet per minute. It is a 220 volt 3-phase system. It contains a Siemens SmartLine touchscreen PLC controller. It has 3 variable control knobs for the temperature. It has an Omron controller for the water temperature, a variable speed control for the fan, a mesh variable speed controller for the mesh belt, and a speed controller for the automated polisher at the end of the enrober. So this machine is also equipped with a retractable slurry tank. So on the slurry tank, we can go ahead and pull it out. We find the storage tank, and this is where the chocolate is added either via hand or through a conveyor system, either through tempering or storage transfer. The slurry system contains of a water jacket. So inside this tank is an opening in space for water to travel throughout the jacket and evenly heat the chocolate mass. It contains 2 water heaters, a thermocoupler, a 0.8 kilowatt chocolate pump, and if we look on top here, we can see we have an agitator bar, and this agitates the chocolate in a rocking motion, and this prevents any clumping of the chocolate mass. If we look on the back side of the slurry tank, we find the agitator motor, and the agitator motor is a 0.4 kilowatt motor, and we can also see the water pump located on the front side. So let's spin this around again. The circulation process for the water, the inlet is located here. The water comes in, enters into the water jacket, and then is circulated through the chocolate conveying tube. And after it circulates through the conveying tube, it is re-entered back into the jacket. So now that we've gone over the basics of the machine, let's go ahead and begin the installation. Okay, so for the initial installation process, the machine is going to come on a pallet. So you're going to need to remove the machine from the pallet, and the machine is equipped with 2 eyelets on top of the machine that are caddy corner. So the machine will need to be hoisted up into the air and remove the pallet. So once you have the pallet out of the way, you can go ahead and set it in its place. Some things to consider when you're picking its location. You want to make sure you have ample access to any of the cabinet doors as well as the side panels. Some other considerations are things like auxiliary components that may be added to the machine, such as storage tanks, chocolate conches, or tempering machines. So always take that into consideration whenever you're selecting your space. So once you have the machine properly on the ground and off the pallet, the next step is to ensure that the machine is properly leveled. So you can take your leveling device, place it on top of the machine, ensure that it is in fact level, and you can check both sides, make sure it's level, and if the machine is unlevel, it can be adjusted via its bottom mounting feet here. And it's easiest to adjust the machine while you have it lifted in the air, so that way it takes all of the force and pressure off of the adjustment screws. Okay, so once we have the machine level and on the ground, we can go ahead and begin our waterline installation. So the machine is going to be sent to you with a 90-degree quick connect waterline. Our facility isn't set up to use these types of water lines, so we're going to be using a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch connection for our water hose. So let's go ahead and remove our water line, our 90, add in our adapter. There we go. Our water line is installed. So it's always very important to make sure that you turn your water on and fill the jacket before ever turning your heaters on. If you don't do this, it could result in immediate damage to your heaters. So now that we have our water line hooked up, let's go ahead and connect our chocolate conveyor tube. So the machine will be sent with a clamp, and you're going to need to simply join your two transfer tubes together by wrapping the clamp around like so and tightening it down. Leakage. Okay, so we have our clamp in place. Now let's go ahead and begin our power application. So we'll come over to our side panel and grab our drill. And we can see on our side panel so we're gonna remove our 4 screws from our side panel. I've already removed 2, so we'll go ahead and remove the last 2. This aside. All right, now we can remove our screws from our electrical box. Again, there's 4 of them. All right, again, this is a 220 volt 3-phase system. So always be sure before applying your voltage that your power source is turned off. So once you have all of your power sources turned off, it's safe to go ahead and install your 3 leads. Okay, now we have our power installed. Let's go ahead and place our cover back on. Okay, now that we have our electrical hooked up and our cover back on, our last step is to plug in our master power cable. So we'll go ahead and fish that through from here. Grab our master plug, insert it into the socket. Okay, good and tight. All right, now our next step is to go ahead and turn on our main power and turn the main breakers onto the machine, and we should be all set. Okay, now that we have our main breaker on, we can go ahead and turn our breaker on to the machine. And we can come over to our emergency stop button, release it, and we see we have our main power on. So it'll take a few minutes for the PLC to fire up, And now you're all set and ready to go to begin enrobing. So thank you for watching today, and I hope you enjoyed.